Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying with Jim Misiura. Today I'm going to tie a Lively Legz Fancy Prince. This fly has been working very good for me. I think that the yellow tail is really a triggering mechanism, but also the Lively Legz legs are also very, very productive. I'm going to start out. This is a 8/0 thread. This is a dark olive. Doesn't really matter what color thread because the thread's going to be hidden. I'm going to start the thread behind the hook and come back to the tail area. Hold that at that 45 and you could get some nice tight wraps, and if it opens up a little bit like that, you can just push them back into place with your tag end. And we're going to stop right at the bend and break off that excess. That little heavier thread sometimes frays like that. I'm going to start with the tail. For the tail, I have a golden pheasant crest. This is a whole feather. I'm going to want that tail to be about half the length of the hook shank. So I'm going to put it on there. I'm going to hold it a little bit towards me, take a nice loose loop and bring it straight down. You want to try to keep that curve going up. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and put the rib in. And for the rib, you can use different things. This is a bigger fly. This is a size 10, and 10 would be the biggest I tie this. And I'm going to use silver. Tinsel is a number 16. And as you saw, there was silver on one side and gold on the opposite. So I'm going to wrap this, tie this in so I can see the gold side, and when I wrap it, we will see the silver. Just put that down the bottom there, keep out of the way. Now for the body, here's a newer material, and this is some ultra chenille. And I got this from Wapsi. This is a Peacock Herl. And just like any kind of chenille, you can pull the fibers off and get the thread, and then just tie the thread itself in. I'm going to wrap this up to the front, and I'm going to trim off that little bit of excess. This is a size 10 hook, and it has a 3mm tungsten bead, and the hook comes from Lively Legz, and the bead you can also get from Lively Legz, and that comes from livelylegz.com. You can see there. Now I'm going to take the Lively leg, and you can see there it is, and we got this more or less almost a 90-degree, and that's the front. I'm going to take that tab. I'm going to cut most of that tab out, being careful not to cut a leg off. I have that little bit, and I'm going to tie this in. I'm going to hold it to my side and begin to wrap, and it will end up right on top. Move behind, and now that second set of legs is right on top. I'm going to move behind, and this is quite a long shank, so I'm going to actually tie in the third set of legs. On smaller hook shanks, you would just cut that third set off, Going to go ahead and tie that in. And we have everything tied in at the back, so I'm going to bring that back up forward. And you can maneuver these legs pretty good. We got them all on top. You have to be careful you don't pull them too hard because you will break them. I'm going to take that Ultra Chenille and I'm going to wrap that. This would be your Peacock Herl. And I'm going to bring that all the way up to the bead. When you get near the legs, you want to make sure that that bottom is covered properly. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of a figure 8 there so that the bottom is covered properly. One thing with this chenille, you know you're not going to break it, like sometimes you break the regular Peacock Herl. And we're going to bring that up to the front. Check that bottom. Okay, it looks good. We're going to put just a couple of wraps at the front. And we're going to tie that off. Don't worry about building up too much thread at the front, but also limit your amount of turns. It doesn't take a whole lot of turns on each to hold them down. I'm going to take the rib and we're going to wrap that, and that was coming up gold. I'm going to wrap it the opposite way, and it's still coming up gold. Okay, I'm going to take that rib, give it a wrap underneath the tail, and then start to wrap that forward. Go up between that leg, come up between that leg, bring it right up to the top, and secure that. And we can trim away that excess. And always remember, be careful so you don't cut off any of the rubber legs or the lively legs. Now for the wing case, I'm going to take a pair of white Goose Biots. I just fold them like this. And they usually separate pretty good. And I just pull two of them off right at the same time. That makes them about the same length, and it makes it easier for lining up. So I'm going to take the first one and I'm going to line that up. I'm going to use that natural curve. And I'm going to tie that in. Take the second one and use that natural curve once again. And we're going to tie that in. And when you take them both off, pull them both off the biots off the stem at the same time, the butt sections should be pretty pretty much the same length when you tie them in. Gonna fold those butt sections back, give a couple wraps right in front. Now I can go ahead and trim them off. And you can see they made a bit of a cross there, and I couldn't get that because of the bead, so I'm gonna hold these back. I'm going to tie that down a little bit. Now, in order to hide the thread there, I'm going to put a little bit of dubbing on my thread and wrap that head. So I'm going to take a little bit of black. I'm going to use a little bit of black crystal dub. There's a little bit of sparkle in there. You can use straight dubbing, you can use super fine. This is actually seal fur that I mixed with some Artside Secret stuff, the GSS. And I'm going to wrap that head. Just be careful you don't wrap in one of the front legs. Tighten that up a little bit. I'm going to take my whip finisher and be careful you don't catch a leg when you're using the whip finisher. Go ahead and get rid of that thread, put a little bit of head cement on there. Just put a drop of head cement right on that, right where the wings cross each other. And here we have a Lively Legs Fancy Prince. The Fancy Prince you can tie without Lively Legs, it works well. You can tie it with the Lively Legs, works just as effectively, if not a little better. It's going to take a couple little stray off there. So I hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. If you want to get any flies from me, go on Etsy and check me out on Etsy. And you can buy the flies from me there. And please visit my sponsors. Leave comments, questions, suggestions.